So thanks again for joining us today for Textbroker's webinar series. Today we're going to cover Keywords 101 and how to identify the right keywords for your business. My name is Jennifer Beaupre and I'm the VP of Global Marketing here at Textbroker, and I'm going to run you through basic lessons on keywords and how you can use keywords in your content strategy. So for the agenda today on our webinar, we're going to talk about why keywords are a vital part of online marketing, how to identify the right keywords, where to put them, how to measure if they're being effective or not, what is the difference between organic and paid keywords, and then we're going to cover how Textbroker helps clients and authors utilize keywords to their advantage. So I'll just introduce myself a little bit. I'm Jennifer Beaupre. I've got a little more than 15 years of experience in marketing, managing global companies' marketing initiatives, including SEO, online content strategy, and influencer marketing. And we're going to talk about each of those things a little bit today and how you can use keywords in your own marketing strategy and within your own content to help you drive business. So before we get into talking about keywords, first I want to talk a little bit about what did it look like if you wanted to search for something 20 years ago. It was before the internet was widely used, so someone would have to go into the phone book. Essentially, you would look up plumbing in the index and then go and look at all of the different phone listings that people had, or even advertisements that someone had in the yellow pages about their business or service. Since that time, we have expanded that same concept into the internet. And essentially, it works the same way. If you're looking for a plumbing service, you would type in plumbing service into a search engine like Google or Bing or Yahoo with that particular keyword, and it would give you results. Or you might say, I'm looking for plumbing service in Las Vegas. And then those particular keywords would actually help the search engines understand what you're looking for and match you to the right results. So with the invention of the internet, we have been able to expand our searches much more effectively than just looking in the phone book, and we can find out a lot more information. Previously, also, the only other way that you could find out about business or services was through direct mail or industry publications. Obviously, now with the internet, we can use keywords to find out much more information as we're looking through search engines. So keywords are the foundation for SEO. And for those of you that don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. So that is the use of keywords or words that users search for in a search engine to advertise their products or services. So keywords are essential in any online marketing strategy because you want to make sure that you associate the words that people search for to your business. And because there's so much competition out there for those same words, plumbing service in Las Vegas, for example, you might want to make sure that you're using all the best practices for keywords and SEO that are possible so that your business can rise to the top of the search results. You want to be on the first page and within the first few results when someone looks for you, instead of being 40 pages in that no one's ever going to actually find your business. So we'll talk a little bit about how we can show up better in those search results. So why should you use keywords, and why are keywords important? So as I just said, ranking for the right keywords can make or break your site. If you just typed in the word plumbing, as we talked about before, and Google went and queried everything out there on the internet for plumbing, you and your plumbing business in Las Vegas might not show up in the first results because you are not using the keywords in the best way that you can use them. If you put in a little bit more specific keywords like plumbing service in Las Vegas or had specialties listed, then when people are searching for those exact things, you might rise to the top because there's much less competition out there for you. So it's important to use the right keywords in the right places so that your site actually shows up in the results. You don't want to be 40 or 50 pages deep where no one's ever going to actually find you. So I'll talk a little bit about organic search versus paid search. Organic search means that someone goes into a search engine like Google and they type in plumbing service in Las Vegas. On the top and the side of any search inquiry, there's going to be ads. So the first three or four results that you see on the top of the screen are going to be paid keywords, paid advertisement, and on the right-hand screen, and I'll show you an example of that later on, but underneath are the organic search results. And the algorithms that Google and other search engines use are very complex as to what they determine is going to rise to the top of the page. But essentially, it's very well known that content and keyword placement are extremely important in getting a high return on organic search. So when possible, it is important to focus your keywords and your content so that Google and other search engines rank you highly in the organic search. If you think of yourself using a search term, usually you're going to click on one of the first several results that actually Google comes up with and shows you. You're not going to comb down and look through pages and pages of results. You're just going to click on the one that's most convenient to you. So what is another reason that we use keywords? One is to learn about your customers' demands and their tendencies. So if you notice in using some of the tools for keywords, which I'll cover in a little bit later, if you notice that your customers are searching for specific things, maybe they're looking for plumbing service in Las Vegas that can help with flood damage. So now you can learn to tailor your content because you know that you offer that specific service and people are going to your website because of it. And so you can learn a little bit more about what your customers actually need and how you can best communicate with them. Obviously, using keywords is an essential ingredient in getting more web traffic. The reason that you want more web traffic is because obviously that brings you more customers. So we want to make sure that the keywords match the content and that you are then able to follow up with anyone that's coming to your website so that you can get customers. I put low barrier to entry here because it's not expensive to necessarily use organic keywords and to optimize your content so that you show up in the top of search results. And when you have people come visit your website, you have a great opportunity to gain a new customer. So keywords are an inexpensive yet crucial way to drive traffic to your site. Additionally, keywords are clues to the contents of your website. If you've got that plumbing site in Las Vegas, you don't want to have keywords in there about automobiles, for example, or something that has absolutely nothing to do with your site. You don't want content on there that doesn't match you, because then you're going to have people come to your site and leave immediately, and that's called a bounce, and those are the things that we want to try to decrease. So how do you know what are the right keywords? This is a tricky subject, and finding the right keywords can be tricky, and it definitely takes some practice and some research. So first you want to know, what is your company about? How would your customers describe your products and services? What keywords yield the best traffic? And which keywords are easiest to rank for? So again, if you are a plumbing company, some of your keywords should revolve around plumbing. They should also revolve around where you're located or specific services that you offer. Another thing is, think about it from the perspective of your customer. What are they searching on? Are they searching on a term like the best service for plumbing in Las Vegas? Are they searching on best plumber for flood damage? Think about all the ways that they might get to you and that you might be able to provide a product or a service that's going to fit their needs. And finally, doing some research with some tools will help you understand what keywords are going to yield the best traffic and what keywords are best for you to use. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So how can you identify these keywords? There's a lot of tools. Specifically, Google offers a lot of different tools for you to use. You can go to google.com/analytics, and underneath analytics they have a lot of different tools that you can use. There's a keyword planner, there's webmaster tools, and there's web analytics. These tools let you know exactly how people are currently getting to your site. So they're going to list out paid keywords, they're going to list out organic keywords. We'll talk a little bit more about paid keywords or AdWords, but the organic search terms that we just talked about are the terms that people put in the search bar to get to your site. So you want to take a look at what currently is getting people to your site, and is that something that you want to continue to rank highly for and focus on. So if they are getting to your site because they looked at plumbing service in Las Vegas, we'll mark that as one of our most valuable keywords and make sure that we're optimizing that. If you notice that somebody put in a name of a specific plumbing tool, for example, and landed on your website and then left immediately, you might say, oh, we might want to reconsider our use of that particular word in our content because it's not something we actually offer. Google also offers a keyword planner that you can go in and type in keywords that you think might be relevant to your site. Then Google will let you know exactly how much people pay for that word in AdWords, and they also let you know the number of monthly searches on a United States and a global basis for that particular word, and the number of competing sites that also use that as a keyword. So what you want to do is you want to look up a keyword, then you want to look at how many searches are there on that keyword per month. If you find that there's lots of searches for that keyword, that's a good thing because you know that there's lots of people out there searching for that particular term. From there, you want to look at how many competing sites do you have. The holy grail or the secret is to try to find keywords that have a high search volume but a low competition so that you can rank highly and you can create content that is going to lead people to those pages. So if plumbing service in Las Vegas has a lot of searches, but there are only a handful of businesses out there that are using that keyword, you're pretty likely to rank highly in organic search. Another way to identify keywords is to talk to your customers. Find out how they heard about you, find out what they're looking for, find out the specific services that they need the most. You can tell a lot of this with Google Analytics. You can tell what pages people care about on your site. You can tell where people visit the most and what information is resonating with them the most. From there, you can tailor your content and your website to meet their needs. You can also do research on your competitors. There's a website called SpyFu. It's S-P-Y-F-U. You can go in and take a look at all of your different competitors and what keywords they are actually using. And you can find out and determine from that point whether or not you want to actually try to optimize your site for those keywords as well, or if you want to try to differentiate yourself and create different keywords. You should also have an internal company powwow. You should talk internally about what are the key differentiators for your company, what are the key services, and what kind of keywords do you want to focus on moving forward to make sure that you're driving as much possible content to your site. So that being said, you do want to make sure that you have an AdWords account and that your website is connected to Google Analytics. There's lots of tutorials in Google that will show you how to put Google Analytics code within your website and how to create a free AdWords account. From there, all of the Google tools are at your disposal for no cost. Okay. So now that you have determined what are your keywords or what are potential keywords, you want to figure out where to put them. It's hard to recommend exactly how many keywords you should have because it depends on your business. Are you international? How many products and services do you use? But in general, you should take a look at least 10 to 20 keywords that you think are the most valuable for your business and are going to drive the most business. So where should you put your keywords? There's a lot of different places that you can include keywords on your site. There's two different places to put them. One is called on-site and one is called off-site. You also hear these called on-page and off-page SEO. So in your content, you have headers, you have URLs, you have page titles, you have hyperlinks, blog posts, the text, subheading, metadata. You might have heard of all of these different areas. And we want to make sure that keywords are strategically placed in all of these different areas. Google is going to index the entire internet. That means they scan the internet and they look for keywords that describe the content. They're also looking for high quality content, and they're also looking for content that links back to your site. So it's important to keep your keywords in mind when you're creating any of these things. Essentially, Google is going to look first at the URLs, then they're going to look at the headers and the titles and the data behind it, and then they're going to look at the overall text to make sure that it matches with the URL. So if you have a URL that says Las Vegas Plumbing Company, and then all of the content on your site is actually about pesticides, you might not rank very well with Google because the content doesn't match the URL. The content doesn't match what you say it's going to be about. There's also off-site or off-page areas to use keywords. So you can use keywords in your social media content. You can use it in your videos. You can use it when you're writing guest posts. That means creating blog content or commenting on someone else's site. So if you write an article for the Huffington Post all about your products and services and then link back to your site, you can get some benefit from in search engine results. Shared content as well, so if you've got more than one site that's got, if you've got partners, for example, and you've got links to your site from theirs and their site from yours, you can get some benefit there. That is also called referral links. Press releases are another great place to use keywords. We've all seen press releases. They've got an About Us at the bottom. So we would have a release, for example, that said Textbroker is speaking next week at the IRCE conference, and at the bottom of it, it's going to say About Textbroker. About Textbroker at the bottom, we're going to talk in our boilerplate will contain keywords. So we're going to say Textbroker is the leading platform for content creation and outsourced content creation. We have professional authors that help you develop unique custom content with a focus on search engine optimization. So within that boilerplate, we've used multiple keywords that we think are going to lead people back to our site. And because those press releases are then picked up by other media outlets, we now have referral links and we have content that's all over the internet letting Google know that we are a thought leader for those specific keywords. You can also use keywords on images. Behind every image, you have to have alt text and descriptions, and you can use keywords in that. If you've got a picture of your plumbing van from your Las Vegas plumbing service, you can use the description text under there. You can use keywords like plumbing service in Las Vegas. So what should you not do? It's very difficult to have an exact formula because no one knows exactly what Google, Bing, and Yahoo search for and exactly how they rank content. But there are some best practices that you can do. Some of them is the way that you write your particular code. So using headers as opposed to using bold language for headers is important. So if you're creating your HTML, you would want to write H1, H2, H3 instead of using bold text for your headers. You don't want to overload your text with keywords. Keep the content relevant and interesting. The most important thing you can do in SEO is to create relevant content for your audience. You might want to try to sneak around and add in more keywords so that Google will see that, but they actually do flag content as trying to sneak around if you're overusing keywords. So It used to be that people would just create content that was just full of keywords so that when the search engines were going out there, they might land on a page that said Las Vegas plumbing service 1,000 times. So that they would think that that would make the content rank highly because that keyword is used a lot of times. However, now the algorithms are definitely more complex and they're more sophisticated, and they're actually looking for good content that that includes those particular keywords. You also don't want to compromise your website usability. You cannot create content just for the sake of having keywords. It's still extremely crucial that you create content that is important and relevant to your audience, and that they go to that content, they share that content because it's good content, it's relevant for them. Additional things are not to use stop words in titles. So you don't necessarily want to write the home page or empty adjectives as keywords. The best home page, the most fantastic plumbing service in Las Vegas. We want to use things that people actually search on and make sure that the content is relevant. So here's a little bit of research from Search Engine Watch about long-tail keywords. So long-tail keywords simply mean that it has more than one word. So if you take a look at the keyword length on the left side and the number of the percent impressions, clicks, and conversions. So what an impression means is that someone saw it. What a click means is that they actually put their mouse on top of it and clicked on it. And what a conversion means is that they filled out a form of some kind. That means they bought it now, or they gave you their email address, or whatever you determine as a company is a way to convert a person into either a contact or a very good sales prospect. So you can see from this data here that having long-tail keywords is important. They get more impressions, people click on them more often, and they have a better likelihood of converting. So saying Las Vegas plumbing service, it might be more effective for you than just saying plumbing, because people are actually able to get to the specific content that they want by typing in a more specific search engine inquiry. So you want to look for keywords and long-tail keywords that are going to help your customers find the best thing about your business. Okay, so now that we've got a list of keywords, we've put our keywords in the appropriate, or where we think is the appropriate areas in our site, we want to know, are they working? So how do we do that? Again, we can use the Google tools to our benefit. There's the Google Adwords keyword tool, there's Google Trends, and then there's also third-party services. So if you look at the Google Adwords tool, on the left you see some examples of some keywords. These are long-tail keywords. You can see in the middle that we have the average monthly searches. And then if you want to have paid keywords, meaning that you want your content ads to show up after someone does a search result. So if someone searches for baseball gloves and you really, really want people to come to it, you don't just want to rely on organic search, you can pay for that particular keyword, and Google will charge you anytime someone clicks on it. So that means that your ad will be at the top of the content or on the right-hand side of the content in a search. This tells you an example of what they think you should bid on this particular keyword and how much you should pay per click. Then you can decide as a company how much those keywords are worth to you. You want to find out what is effective by looking at what keywords you have, again, that have a high number of searches and a low number of competition. You can use the Google Trends tools to determine what kinds of keywords are people actually searching on. So here's a good example. If you look at newspaper ads, I think we all know intuitively that people are reading the newspaper less often, and so they're probably searching for newspaper ads a little bit less. You can look at Google Trends to find out that, yes, in fact, newspaper ads as a search term are going down over time. If you look at the search volume from 2005 to 2013, you can see that the search for newspaper ads has consecutively gone down. Content marketing, on the other hand, from 2005 has continued to move up. So a better keyword might be content marketing in this particular instance. So you can compare and contrast different keywords to see how you might rank. And again, you can also use third parties. They will do a lot of extensive keyword research for you and have some of their own tools if you want to pay additionally for those. So what should you look at when you're measuring keyword success? Again, you should look at the ranking, the number of searches, and the competition that you have. You want to have a lot of searches for that keyword every month, and you want to have as little competition as you possibly can. If you see that that particular keyword is helping you rank higher and that your overall websites are ranking higher in organic search results month on month, you're probably doing a good job. You can also look at paid AdWords. If you have effective ads, meaning something that's enticing to the customer, they see that maybe you have 25% off plumbing services for the month of October, and that's a paid ad that you wanted to have on there, and people are clicking on it and you're getting customers, then you'll know that that particular keyword is an effective keyword for your company. And of course, the final thing that you want to look at is conversions or sales. So if people are clicking on either your ad or your organic search ranking, and then they are either buying your product or calling you to come buy because they came to you through the internet, and you see that increasing over time, you will know that those keywords are being successful for you. So a little bit more about organic versus paid keywords. The area in the red square on this particular slide is organic search results. Everything that you see on the top and on the right-hand side are paid ads. So baseball gear in this particular scenario here it's a very highly competitive search term, and you can see that companies like Dick's Sporting Goods and Go for Sport are paying for ads on these particular things. Sports Authority over there on the right-hand side. The companies in the red square are ranking highly on Google because they have a lot of content that's relevant to the search term on baseball gear, and they have a lot of traffic. They might have a lot of options for you, and so Google says these are the best sites that are going to match to your search inquiry. So to get effective with your keywords, it's important to look at your content and make sure that your content matches the search inquiry, and then you can also use AdWords to supplement that and try to get people to come to your site based on paying per click for them to get there. So organic versus paid. So organic, you get natural rankings based on the search algorithms that we talked about. Users are much more likely to trust organic results. But a top ranking in organic search results takes a long time to develop. If you're a small sporting goods company, for example, and you're going up against a company like Dick's Sporting Goods that has a huge marketing department and a lot of internet real estate, it's going to be difficult to compete against them for some of those bigger keywords. So just keeping that in mind in organic search. With paid search, search engines make money with these ads. So it is important to them that your ads are successful. They provide you with a lot of tools and a lot of opportunities for you to get customers through your paid advertisements. Businesses all over the world pay to be placed in the top spots because they want to be visible. If they're having a hard time ranking in organic search results, looking at paid options is important because it can get you in front of customers. The paid search also helps you pick and choose your keywords and phrases. It's pretty easy with the tools that they have available to you to be able to look at those particular items. So keywords in Textbroker. What can keywords do for you? Keywords can provide a very significant source of lead generation. They can help you increase your reach and your name recognition. They can give you better customer development, and they can bring in more qualified leads. If you've got great keywords and great content, people will go out there and search for that content. If they're led back to your site because you've optimized for search, you are more likely to have more customers, and you are more likely to get your name out there as a recognizable brand. The best way to add keywords is by developing content with keywords. High quality content can relate to your targeted keywords. It can give you an opportunity to put those keywords into your site in a relevant and interesting way for your audience that they're actually going to read and care about. Textbroker authors are skilled at creating content that is optimized for search. So when you make an order through Textbroker, you can provide the authors with keywords and instructions for where you want those keywords. You can give them instructions for how often you want the keywords used, where you want them placed, how you want them written. And they are experts at creating interesting, relevant content that contains all of your keywords that then you can publish in product descriptions, in your blog, in your social media. It should be part of any overall content marketing strategy to create unique content that is optimized for SEO. Textbroker clients frequently get content created for them that contains keywords so that they can keep fresh, up-to-date content for their customers that contains keywords that Google and other search engines can find and rise them to the top of their organic search rankings. When companies have fresh, unique, up-to-date content with keywords and they're consistently publishing good quality content that people search for and read, Google will start to rank that company higher and higher in search results. So what our clients do in general is they request text-based content geared towards the keywords. We will often hear from our clients and they'll give us their top 10 keywords. They'll say that they want articles written on these particular keywords and where to put the keywords. Or sometimes they actually go to the authors and they ask for suggestions and topics for articles that they can write themselves. Textbroker follows a proven keyword formula, and they develop fresh, well-written content from a database of thousands of authors. That being said, Textbroker focuses on helping you improve your search engine ranking by using keywords in unique content. Other things that we do are create custom web content. We have 3, 4, and 5-star authors. Most people are ordering 4-star authors. They're ranked based on their grammar, spelling, punctuation, and the quality of the content that they write. They can help you with keyword suggestions, and Textbroker has affordable options for any types of content development that you like. Textbroker authors are paid and graded by their writing quality and client feedback. That's the 3, 4, and 5 stars that I talked to you about. They have constant writing resources available to help them improve their writing. They have easy-to-follow client proposals. We can help you create author instructions. They focus on the topics that you want to write about, and you can order content as often and as much as you want with a very quick turnaround. So the next steps for you in building out your keyword strategy is to create a keyword content calendar. You can plan a content calendar based on your keyword needs. So you would create a list of your keywords, focus on your long tail keywords, and then set up goals that you can track. So you want to differentiate. I've got these top keywords. Where am I going to publish this? What kind of content am I going to create? Social media content, blog posts, videos, images. How are we going to distribute this? And then how are we going to make sure that our content is used in all of those different channels? And create a calendar where you can publish content on a consistent basis that contains those keywords. So that's all I have for this presentation. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please submit them on the right-hand side of your screen. Dave can read out some of the questions that we have. You can either put them into the question function or on the right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some great questions already, and
Thanks,
of course, everybody can keep on asking them. Some really interesting ones. You were talking about the keywords as far as how many times you should use them. Someone's asking are they supposed to use a certain rule of thumb as in a certain percentage of keywords in the content? They heard 2 to 5%.
Right, that's a great question. That definitely depends on the business and the keywords that you're using. But yes, I've also heard that somewhere between 2 to 5%, 2 or 3% keyword density is what that's called, is the most appropriate. So you don't want to have that long tail keyword of plumbing service in Las Vegas making up 50% of the text. So if you got a blog post about best plumbing services in Las Vegas, you don't want half of that content to say best plumbing service in Las Vegas, because obviously then that content wouldn't be interesting and it wouldn't be relevant. So yeah, rule of thumb is between 2 and 5%, and there are tools out there that you can use that can scan your content to tell you exactly what your keyword density is.
Right. You were also talking about press release sites, and someone is worried that if they release a press release that they created through Textbroker on multiple press release sites, that it will count as duplicate content, and if there might be any problems with that.
That's a really good question. Google has started to flag press releases as being duplicate content if they are overused. However, with that being said, press releases are still an important part of SEO. So if you release a press release through PR Newswire, for example, there's many companies that you can do it, PR Newswire, MarketWire, PR Log. If you release a press release through them and then other sites pick it up and republish that content, it can give you some benefit. If they write an article about you based on a press release that you sent out, it can definitely help your SEO. However, if you release low quality content just for the sake of publishing content all over the web in the form of a press release, it can penalize you because it could be seen as duplicated content. So what you want is unique content as often as possible, meaning that you want to create blog posts, social media posts, ebooks, white papers, all with interesting content that's going to promote you as a thought leader to your audience, because the algorithms that Google and other search engines are using are looking for that content most often.
Okay. Another thing on press releases, people are wondering how often they should release a press release and how much they should expect to spend if they do that sort of strategy.
It depends, again. I typically recommend once a month if you've got interesting and relevant news. You don't want to go around releasing press releases that don't say anything important. If you've got a major customer win and that customer is willing to go have a press release about that, that's an important thing. If you're speaking at a conference or on a television show, you might want to have a press release about that. If you have a major product development or have added a new service, those are important things. But if you're just going, putting out press releases just for the sake of putting out multiple press releases, for example, if we put out 4 press releases about the fact that we were having this webinar, we might get penalized for creating duplicate and invaluable content. So you want to make sure that you're releasing press on interesting and relevant information. I can't stress that enough, that high quality content, unique written content is the most important thing for search engine optimization.
Okay, great. Now, someone's asking more about just general keyword strategy. Is it a good idea to create your base set of keywords and stick with them, or should you be constantly finding new keywords to add to your list?
That's a good question. Keywords take a long time to have an effect. So you do want to create a basic list of keywords that you stick with and that you continue to create content over time. You continue to use ads over time. But at the same time, you want to constantly keep an eye out for any new keywords that might help you be relevant. If you have new products and services, you might want to investigate new keywords. But other than that, you want to stick to a long-term keyword strategy and let good content start working for you. So keep those keywords and create content over time that will help drive traffic to your site to make those more effective.
Okay, great. Someone's asking about is it all right to rewrite ebooks that they found online using Textbroker or in their general keyword strategy?
Let's see. Textbroker authors have pretty strict regulations about plagiarism, so I'm not sure if that's rewriting ebooks that are already found out there. If you want unique and original content created in the form of an ebook, Textbroker authors are a great option. They're skilled at writing ebooks, they're skilled at the formatting, but they will create unique, customized content that's written specifically for you. We have several levels of plagiarism detection, and if they were just rewriting an ebook that they found on the internet, it would be flagged and it would not be published.
Okay. Looks like that's most of them. There might be time for one more. Let's see if there's a really good one here. Okay, someone's asking about now Google is using more individual results according to the user's search behavior and how their keywords will still have an effect if Google is sort of tailoring it towards someone's individual experience. If you have any tips on that.
That is a good point. Google algorithms are constantly changing, and I think you're talking about a little bit about the geo-targeting and the marketing retargeting that you see on some of Google Adwords. So if I was looking up a pair of shoes yesterday, and then I went on to Wikipedia because I was looking up something from work, I might see an ad with that exact same pair of shoes following me around the internet. Those things are still important to be looking at in your keyword strategy, because what you'll want to look at there is what's actually driving people to your site. If people are searching on something that's very, very specific, like plumbing services in Las Vegas that work with flood damage, then you'll want to look at adding in those keywords into your strategy so that you can target people on a more individual level. And with retargeting, you can also work with ads that will do that, that will remind people that they were looking at something previously, and that's part of having a paid strategy. If that's not clear, let me know. And again, my email is up here. If anybody has any additional questions, you can feel free to email me at any time, and I'll try to get back to you.